Sometimes in the personal injury law business, you get a case in where it's a relatively low impact collision. And sometimes you get a case where your client has told the at-fault driver the next day that they're not hurt. And sometimes you get a case where that same person ends up getting a surgery and an infection. This is one of those cases and how I turned it into $1 million settlement. I'm Shane McGuire with the McGuire firm. I'm a personal injury lawyer here in Texas, and I'm going to walk you through how I took a challenging case, somebody who it got hit at like 5 miles an hour, just kind of low property damage, told the at-fault driver, hey, I'm not hurt, the next day at the body shop when they saw each other. Then she ended up having a surgery. How do you make that $1 million case? A lot of effort. So let me tell you what happened. First of all, this can't happen unless your client is the sweetest lady in the world, okay? Listen, the guy who's got a rap sheet a mile long, he ain't getting $1 million in this case. That case is probably worth zero for him. If you don't have an engaging, credible, believable client, you're not getting $1 million on a low impact collision case. It's just not going to happen. It happens though. This lady is the sweetest lady in the world. And she got rear-ended. And the at-fault driver, it was the daughter of the guy who owned the business. And the claim was, the property damage, the wreck happened 2 years ago. Now we're still looking for the property damage. Okay, you can look at the pictures. There's not much. But it got her just right. But man, the property damage was so low. And the at-fault driver, 20-some-odd-year-old girl, said that her foot slipped off the brake. And, she was like, I don't know if I was stopped and my foot slipped off, or I was not stopped yet and my foot slipped off, but I couldn't have been going 5 or 10 miles an hour when I rear-ended her. What do? The next day after the accident, there's no ER visit. So most of the time, if it's a significant wreck, my client goes to the emergency room, and you should go to the emergency room if you're in a significant wreck. Makes my life a lot easier and will make you feel better. Okay, she didn't do that. The next day, she and her husband are at the body shop where her car is, and she sees the owner of the business. They were at the same spot. The owner of the business that had rear-ended her. And hey, she talks to him. He's like, "Are you okay?" And she says, "Yeah, I'm doing okay." "Are you hurt?" No, I'm doing okay. I'm not hurt. I'm thankful. I'm okay. At that moment, if that's all you know, that case is worth zero. Okay, she hadn't been to the doctor yet, and she's told not just some insurance company, but the defendant that she's fine. Here's what happens. Over the next few days, because she's in her 60s, she starts hurting worse and worse. Initially, she really was just a little bit sore, but she thought she was fine because throughout her life, she had always been fine. Had always recovered from any sort of an injury. But this time, man, it got her just right. And so I got her into a provider who was willing to do a surgery on her ultimately. They treated her, did all the conservative care, injections, x-rays, MRIs, all that stuff. Nothing helped. Finally, she had to have a fusion. And hey, the at-fault driver had $1 million policy. We have to go mediate the case. We mediate the case, and the owner of the business is at the mediation. And I have to tell you, that never happens. Under your insurance contract, you contract away your right to kind of navigate the case to the insurance company. The insurance company gets to do everything with regard to the defense. So the best way to put it is, if you're an insured and you get sued, you get a voice but not a vote on how things go, all right? And so because of that, the insured, the at-fault driver, is never at mediation. Exceedingly rare. But this time, he was adamant he wanted to be at the mediation because he wanted to tell his story, tell the mediator, hey, we don't owe anything, she's not hurt, blah, blah. But man, she really was hurt, and she came off so great in her deposition. So I prepped her for like a day, really 4 or 5 hours on her deposition. And so she was able to credibly describe to the insurance defense lawyer how her pain just kept building and how ultimately that led her to have to get a surgery to alleviate the pain. And so she had like $250,000, $300,000 in medical bills at the end of the day. And so we go to this mediation. At mediation, State Farm, and I'll just say who it is, I don't mind telling you, State Farm Insurance Company, who's the worst, they come in and they're like, we're going to offer, we're not going to go higher than $350,000. Okay. That was it. And I can't settle the case for that. That doesn't put any money in her pocket. I've got a fee. I've got expenses. She's got almost $300,000 in medical bills. Like it's negative. Okay. Like there's no recovery of that number. So what happens? I get a life care plan for her to build out the futures. I say, hey, y'all take the deposition of her husband. Her husband is going to explain to you the change in her life before the accident and after, because you know this, nobody will defend you like your spouse. You may have a tough time articulating how things are worse for you now than they were before, but your spouse won't because they see it every day. And even though you're not a complainer and your spouse isn't a complainer, they're not complaining. They're coming to your defense. They're coming to your aid when they get up and testify, hey, this is how my wife or my husband was really injured and affected by this wreck. And so he was able to credibly do that. So once we had the life care plan in place and the spouse's testimony, here's what I did. I called State Farm lawyer and I said, State Farm lawyer, what do I have to do to get this $1 million? I'm not going to settle for less than that. I'm not going to settle for less than that. What do we have to do? And she said, hey, you've done the right stuff. You got the life care plan. Thanks for letting me depose husband. Send me a demand and I'll tell State Farm to pay it. Now, this is where relationships come in. You can't be the north end of a southbound mule to everybody in your life, okay? And even though that State Farm lawyer is on the other side of the case, that defense lawyer in this business can become your best friend when it comes to resolving a claim because she don't want to go try it. On paper, it looks like she ought to win, but she knows she's going to lose because what do I have? I've got the story on how this wreck caused a cascade of events that left my client with serious damages, with a surgery and physical impairment, et cetera. And so she was like, I want this case done. And so now she's my advocate to State Farm to get the case done. And so she and I worked together. I said, hey, look at this demand. Tell me if this demand package gets you there. And she's like, yeah, it should. Then she said, hey, make it like 1 or 2 weeks longer than what I had in my draft. Give them 30 days instead of 14 days or whatever. And I said, okay, happy to do that. I send it off. 30 days later, bam, $1 million. Why? Because you have to put the work in. A lot of people, I'm telling you, low impact, your client tells the guy the next day she's not hurt, run away from that. But do you believe your client? If you believe your client and you believe in your client, you can take that case and turn it into $1 million claim. And for more advice on how to maximize the value of your car wreck case, follow us at McGuire Firm.